Next, we're going to hear from Bluezell. We have Pavel from Bluezell, and they are building a decentralized database for dApps. Pavel.
Thank you. Okay, so for the past year and a half, myself and my CTO have been in Singapore, and we've been building blockchain applications on Ethereum. We've been focusing on banks and insurers for some of the biggest ones out there, HSBC, AIA, MSIG. While we were building these applications, we realized there was a void missing. We had to build the data, we couldn't store the data on Ethereum because it's not efficient. So then we went to like Microsoft Azure, other products like that. Problem was that they're not equipped for blockchain and building those applications. So we had to restructure the database from Microsoft Azure using our specialists, taking a lot of time to make it compatible with the blockchain. That's not efficient. So that's when we realized that if everything's going to a decentralized world, decentralized applications from everybody you're hearing here, decentralized storage, like file storage, there has to be a proper decentralized database, and that's where we come in. Bluezell is a decentralized database for dApps because that's the missing void. Now, what's the main problem? A lot of choke points in the past, present, and where we're going. So in the past, you had one single system, multiple choke points, anything could fail, all your data can be stolen because everything's on one system. We moved to a cloud-based system, which got kind of better, but you got a load balancer. If that gets broken into, your entire system goes down. You've got clusters of cloud servers. If one gets broken into, it's easily replicated that you can break into the next and take it. Anybody hear about the Equifax data breach from like 2 weeks ago? 200 million records were stolen. If that was on a decentralized database, that likely wouldn't have happened. So what Bluezell does is take everything in a decentralized manner, store them on computers all around the world, and basically we call ourselves the Airbnb of databases. So now any of you have hardware storage sitting at home, you could rent it out on our network and have the data stored on that network. So what happens is consumers, whether it's an application, a dApp, anybody pays with a Bluezell token, and you, as a producer on the network, can earn part of that token, and Bluezell, as the middleman of this marketplace, will take a microtransaction. So that's where true utility, and we're creating a crypto economic network using the blockchain and blockchain principles. The technology highlights are pretty compelling. We use three main things. Swarming is important. What we do is have swarms of computers like bees all around the world governed by a meta swarm. Why do we use a swarm? If you used a universal state where everybody was just on one system and having consensus, it could slow down the network. By having swarms of hundreds of thousands of computers, you don't have to store everything everywhere. You can have it in the most efficient place and easily grab all that information and the data that you need. That is what's needed for enterprises. So what we're doing is giving an enterprise-grade product to every small to medium-sized developer out there. 2D partitioning is important because you're taking the data from a horizontal and vertical state, smashing it up, and spreading it all over the network. So basically, think of me, I take a glass, there's a logo on it, I smash it into thousands of pieces, put it all over the network in different swarms, or basically different vaults. So even if somebody tried to break into one, it'd be really different to break into another one. So virtually, it's got all the security of a blockchain in there. Finally, consensus. Why we use that? We use it in multiple ways. One is proof of reliability. So if you're a producer on your network, we want to make sure that you got skin in this game. You're not making money just for no reason. If you meet our KPIs and prove the reliability and the scalability that's needed to support our network, you can continue on. If you don't, part of the money you have is put up as a stake that will be returned to the consumer. Then you have proof of storage as well. So we've got a series of KPIs that we're designing with algorithms to make sure that you're part of the network and you're keeping up to what we want. Our team. Senior developers, we're based in Vancouver and Singapore. Vancouver's got some of the best developers in the world outside of Silicon Valley. Myself, I used to work for Disney, Microsoft, running video game companies, and aiming at developers. That's our network. My CTO, Neeraj, he was part of ZeroBlock, which was one of the early blockchain acquisition companies in 2014. After that, he joined me, where he used to work for Google, Lufthansa, and we created our team. The rest of the team is big in machine learning, cognitive science, AI, blockchain security. So a lot of senior people, and that's how we're building the team. Finally, our early backers and advisors are VCs, true VCs from all around the world who got in early to produce, to support our token sale for the future. Global Brain, one of the biggest ones out of Japan, True Global Ventures, which is out of Europe, Lund Partners from China, Kinetic Capital from Hong Kong, and one of the things I want to talk about now quick is, I didn't have time to put on the slide, but we just signed up 2 advisors from Silicon Valley. One is Gil Pacina, who was one of the more influential crypto investors out there. He was prominent at eBay, and he's had $6 billion exits. The other one is Brian Fox, old school, open source developer. Who uses a Mac here? All right, so all of you using Mac, Linux, or any other Unix-based machine, you're currently using software that Brian wrote in 1989. He's really compelling to put on our team because he understands open source. We're going to have open source principles, and that's going to guide us. In the next couple weeks, we'll also be announcing advisors who are specialists in database and crypto technologies, all from Silicon Valley. And that's my time up. Thanks for listening, and go to bluezell.com/Slack, and you'll learn about our token sale, which we'll be formally announcing the next week.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so next up.